No.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy.
You know what I noticed on the cameras?
What?
It looks like I shake because we're doing the opposite. You know, when you look in the mirror, everything's the opposite. Yeah, like when you look at an ambulance, it looks like I'm shaking with my left hand, but this is my right hand.
Oh, yeah,
and they say you never shake with your left hand as a sign of disrespect. But as I was saying, for the record, we always shake with the right hand.
Exactly. Man, Austin,
I'm
man.
To do liquid death because
it
kind of matches with my little outfit I got going on. So
did you plan that too?
A little bit.
Oh man, Stino, how's it been? How's your day been today?
I had an intense workout at the gym. I was really going hard. Yeah, I usually just kind of just lift, but I was like sweating. So you know, out of mutual respect for everybody at the gym, I wiped the machines down.
Of course, you got to.
I don't want to lose sweat.
You can't be.
And also, people, make sure you wash your hands and sanitize your hands because they say that the gym has the biggest germs come from the gym. A lot of germs come from the gym. Basically, what I was trying to say.
That makes sense. There was a lot that went down this week.
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot that went down from you got sports going on, you got the draft, me personally, the podcast, the future of the podcast. I'm not gonna lie, it was a rough week, you know. I ain't gonna lie, this was this was almost our last episode. This was almost our last episode. You know, there was things going on,
and we're gonna try something
behind
different.
The scenes.
We're gonna release tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna start releasing on Sundays. Try to do that
so Ron can have more personal time with his family.
Yeah. You know, getting too crazy into it, but
and then also we were gonna do a 2-week thing, maybe. Just to give you a break, Ron was going to teach me how to edit or upload. It's going to take a long time for him to teach me that because I'm a caveman.
I'm about to say, there ain't nothing going on.
The most advanced thing I could do on a computer is copy paste. And screenshot pictures.
But nah, man, it was a. You gotta, when you're trying to build something from the ground up, you can tend to maybe neglect some other, like, you can tend to neglect a lot of other things that goes on and stuff like that, especially if you got passion and fire and a desire for it, because you see something so clear, you see something that's IMAX crystal clear in your face, like IMAX, the Sinners, Ryan Coogler, the Sinners, 70 millimeters, big ass screen. That clear. It's that clear. My vision is that clear for what I want for my family in my face. But I am building it. I'm right here at the ground floor, at the surface. I'm not up here. I'm right here. This is all brand new. And I'm learning. I'm teaching myself every single day. And I need this for my family, you know, and
you got people in your corner too.
I need you, and it's that type of thing that you gotta be able to. You gotta. I think I posted something earlier today on my story, on my Instagram story, and it was when Ryan Coogler made Creed. He was $200,000 in debt. $200,000 in debt when he made Creed. That was his second directorial movie. No, $200,000. So that means he was in debt $200,000.
He was all in.
Fruitvale Station was his first movie that he did, and that was with Ryan Michael B. Jordan.
And he did Sinners, right?
He just did Sinners. Right. So fast forwarding. Now he just released Sinners a couple weeks ago. Obviously, magnificent movie, great movie.
Can you tell me what it is about?
So it's a. Because
I'm not up to date with the movies.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's a movie about these two twins, Smoke and Stack, and they're from they're from the South, but they moved to Chicago, and you know they did.
What year does this take place?
It's a period piece, so it takes place. I believe it's like the 20s or the 30s or something like that. Okay. And so they moved to Chicago, and then they came back down because they was kind of on the run and all that. They had robbed a couple cats up north, and robbed them for their liquor and everything. Stole a couple liquor trucks, and now they coming down to the South to open up a juke joint. With some of their family members and their little cousin and a bunch of the cats, like the musical cats that's down there already. And it's about vampires in the middle of the night. So how they come out, they're essentially, you got to let them in order to into your environment in order for them to turn you to one of them. It's a real great movie. The storytelling, the cinematography, the building of each character. Ryan Coogler, he does that to a T. Ever since I seen Fruitvale Station, that was already, I knew right then and there. I was like, that brother's gonna be special.
Film type movies or just all
he done Black Panther.
He did?
Yeah, he do the Black Panther movies and Creed, and he did the first Creed movie. So I just knew right away that he was going to be special after the first Fruitvale Station. But back to that, he set up this deal to where he's going to get paid from this movie for the rest of his life in another 25 years. And he gets first cut of all the money the movie's out right now. So he's getting the first dibs. The money that's in the theaters right now, he gets first dibs. Then oh God, whoever the big guys, Sony or Marvel, not Marvel, but Sony or Universal, whoever, they get their cut. And then in 25 years, he gets ownership of that movie. But guess what? How he did that was he had to go through the fire to see the way it burns and to set his family up for the future right then and there. He did that back in 2013 with Fruitvale Station. And in 2015, when he was in $200,000 in debt, he said, man, I got to keep going. I have a vision. I see a future. Me and this guy, we got chemistry like a mug. I've made a movie and me and him, we click just like that. And I see that with you. We got something. We ain't journalists at all. But me and Austin, I see if you've seen us from the first street, from the first episode up until right now, up until halftime, episode 12, halftime.
You know what I thought about today? Technically, we're media members. We own media. I mean, we're not like a media company, but technically, we talk about the news. This is media.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah,
of
so
course. And,
I just thought about that. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry.
So no, but see that's my, and that's my vision right now. And
thank you. Am
I going?
I appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Am I like maybe not being present sometimes or something like that? I can say that. Yeah, I might be maybe not being present like how I can be in the moment, but when I see something so clear in my eyes and I know what it can bring for the future for my family and stuff like that, it's like, it's one of them things. It's like, I don't want to lose that sight. I don't want to lose it because, and it really, when you get told, you get, when these things come up like that, it's like, it's like, you see, this is what I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the family, us, for us to build up and everything. I'm doing this
to build an empire.
Exactly. I met one dude earlier today, sat in my chair. I'm sitting there talking to him, cutting his hair, getting a clean ass fade. So I'm cutting his hair. We talking. And I just asked him, I'm like, hey, so how long you been over here so far? And he said, yeah, we've been about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh, 3 weeks. Okay.
And that's expensive.
You know, so I'm sitting there and they're from overseas. They're from I believe it was UK. Yeah. So he's from overseas. So we're sitting there talking and I got curious. I was like, my brother, what do you do for a living that you can take 3 weeks vacation? Like, are you working from, you know, like at night or on your days off and stuff like that? He said, no, I own my own business. I can't remember exactly what it said. He had a heavy accent, and he had a heavy accent, and I had these loud clippers at his head, so his voice, you know. So I didn't exactly know exactly what he did, but he said he owned his own business, and he started back in 2016, putting in that grind, and went full time in 2018, and right now to this day. And when I asked him how much longer you got left down here, he said, oh, we're going to be here to May 4th. That's a summer vacation. That ain't even a summer vacation. From the beginning of April,
that's a residency,
to the end of April.
That's like doing
to the beginning of March. Exactly. That's like 30, 35 days or however long.
You damn near live here.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's going to be here for a whole month, at least a whole month. That is the financial freedom that I'm striving for my family. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, save $50 a week or something like that, you know, and then, all right, we can get to the point where now we could take a little small couple of days vacation or something like that. I want to be to the point where I say, let's get up and go for a whole month. Let's get up and go, take the kids out, and maybe not for the whole month, but you know, because you got kids, but let's get up and go for the whole summer. And I ain't gotta pick up a clipper. I ain't gotta pick up no camera. I can take that off, and then I ain't gotta worry about it because I already know I got it delegated to either other people or either at that time, because I've made it to a point where I can do that, take the time off, then I'll be okay.
Or we Skype each other. We just like, yeah.
He's not even doing that.
No, I'm talking about if you were doing your thing on a family vacation and we were still filming the show, we could always Skype each other.
Yeah, something like that for like an hour. Do an hour like that.
Yeah.
And then a little like whatchamacallit and upload something like that.
I do hope,
because
I have seen the changes in both of us, and I want to keep going, and I need to keep going. I mean, we you know, it's I'm not trying to be. I really don't like to talk about the money I made because I like to keep that private. But the money's coming in. I just sold 2 water restorations, so that's another little bonus that has nothing to do with my paycheck. That's a little extra money. And I also, at the same time, I want to be smart with this. And I was saying that, I guess the show, I can see like from 1 to 12 where we're at right now, we can see the progression, which makes me want to work harder now. Now that I see, like, we were kind of lost. We didn't know where we were at. We were like some lost dogs trying to find our way. But then, you know, every time we film before, we do have the anxiety, like, damn, I hope we don't get like almost like a writer's block or we stutter on camera. I'm talking about for me. I'm talking about going through my head. But you could see, if you really look at our videos, how much progression we have made. And I really want to see what 24, they say 21 podcasts, 90% of people quit before the 21st episode. So,
man, it's one of them things. It's like, we got to keep going at this.
Yeah,
we need to keep going, and we're going to keep going. You know, it's just one of them things where we gotta like, there's things that I gotta do in order to in order to, you know, things that I got to change. So, and I'm going to be working on that. Obviously, I'm going to still work on that while I'm working on this podcast too, because this is, like I said earlier in the beginning, this is crystal clear to me, and I see the vision, you know. So we gotta figure that part out, and I don't want to stop for that, you know. But man,
it wasn't gonna be easy. We knew it wasn't gonna be easy. The road to 24. So
man, who you telling? I didn't expect it. I mean, I expected, you know, from like maybe outside, maybe a little outside talk and stuff like that. But also, it's just like, you know, you want everybody to be on your team and stuff like that, and make sure like they rooting for you, you know, and they do root for you, but you know, you do got to give to them too. You know, you do got to give to the ones that are rooting for you, you know, but at the same cost, it's like, if I'm trying to get there to this vision, to this goal for the family, you know, to be able to take care of my kids, my wife, my moms, everybody is taken care of for the rest of their life, my grandbabies and stuff like that. You know, maybe I think I'm old enough to eventually have great grands. Let me think. I'm 36. Jeremiah, let's say he maybe have it in another 10 years. What's about 10? I'll be 46. And then, yeah, I could probably see some great grands. Yeah. So, yeah, the great grands. If I can, you know, anything after the great grands is, you know, hey, y'all, much love to keep the family going. But anything after the great grands is like, all right, you know, do what you got to do. See y'all in the next life. But yeah, man, I'm trying to be able to set them up, and it has to start today. It has to start now. You know, sometimes the now, you know, doesn't foresee the big picture. The big picture, the now is it's the crop version. The big picture is the future. You know, and so, but man, it was a week. A whole lot's been going on. You talk about media, hell, the draft. No. Well, let's go to Unc. Let's go to Unc. Unc out here.
Shannon Sharp.
Uncle Shannon Sharp, man. Uncle Shay Shay. He like unseasoned chicken, man. You know. He likes snow bunnies. He like I said, the unseasoned chicken. He like them young and yeah, man.
I mean, let's talk about the backstory.
Like,
I mean, he was 54 years old. He met this OnlyFans girl. This is probably when he was in LA filming Fox, because he lived in Los Angeles.
Yeah, right.
With the Skip. So he was in this gym. And the thing is, I've been to LA multiple times. It's very everybody's trying to work angles, and that's the environment. So, you know, this 19-year-old girl at the time met 54. I'm sure she's seen the show. She's seen the notoriety he has, and basically
they met in the gym, right?
Yeah, they met at the gym.
Yeah.
So, and I guess they had sexual relations. So I don't know if he didn't know he was getting filmed, or he was trying to do some fake Kim Kardashian, Ray J sex video, and because he had some type of sex video before this.
No, it was an Instagram live. It wasn't a sex video.
Yeah, but I think that was staged.
I wouldn't put it past. It being staged, because at that time he was having a whole lot of controversy with like outside people talking about he real sassy and like real, like he got, especially when he came out of that car. He came out that car with his hip and his bag on his hand, and got a little hip thing going.
Oh, he's trying to prove his masculinity.
Yeah, okay. So he was out here.
I could see that.
You know, so like, yeah, I get
he's
it.
Trying to overcompensate.
You know, he's trying to make it seem like, yeah, I get it down. You know what I mean?
So,
go ahead.
So morally, he didn't do any. I mean, not morally. Legally, he didn't do anything wrong. Morally, it's kind of
legally ain't nothing wrong with a 54-year-old and a 19-year-old to be having sex. Legally, everybody's of age and everybody is grown.
So the issue is,
but
he works for Disney World. He works for Mickey Mouse.
He worked for the mouse.
Yes. So you have to conduct yourself a certain way.
Sure do.
So ESPN, I mean, they pretty much mutually kind of like part way. And he said he's going to be back in the preseason. A lot of people, your boy Joe Budden, I listened to a little bit of his podcast. He said that's not happening. And then one of his co-hosts said, next year. But they say he's never going to be part of ESPN after what happened.
Yeah, not with the
mouse. The issue with the ESPN thing is he called the girl on the video and was choking her, which I think was just him being kinky and just saying, he's like, you like that.
So the sex tape is out?
Some parts. The lawyer for the
he put it out,
and that's the same lawyer that was trying to sue Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. And basically, I do believe it's a cash grab.
I didn't see that, but so you said some parts is
out. So they keep releasing.
So then that means some edited parts.
So this is how
there was an edited video.
I'm gonna get back to how Shannon Sharp's lawyer is involved. So his business strategy was they're about to get this $100 million. So instead of him, you know, kind of like tarnishing his image by having him say, you like that, you white bitch. I'm paraphrasing. I mean, but he was choking her on camera, but they only, basically that 30 seconds made him look bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody knows, you know, groupies, they come and they like older guys, like younger, cute women. And this has been going on since the dawn of time.
That's one.
So basically she's blackmailing him. And then his lawyer made him look guilty by saying, oh, we offered her $10 million. And basically his strategy was, we're going to get this 90 million and then we just give her 10 and then we're all good. So that's where Shannon Sharp, but in the public eye, he looks guilty.
Now I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. Right. Shannon Sharp, old ass, should not be out here messing with unseasoned chicken ass women that are 19 fucking years old. You are grown as hell. You messing with a Caucasian woman, and you, like you said they was on tape and everything.
Yes.
If y'all into that kinky weird, if she into, bro, Shannon, you too damn old to be falling for that damn dumbass stuff, man. You gonna be out here on camera calling this woman. Did he know he was being filmed?
I don't know that part. That's part's up in the air. That's the same question I was trying to figure out. I was trying to do some research and find it, but
all right, so
I couldn't find anything on that.
Okay, if you know you're being filmed, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, like you gonna sit there and you on camera choking her and everything like that? You bugging. And then if also, you didn't know, you still kind of wilding too, man.
She like, set him up too.
It's like, damn, like, yo, I don't know if I should be going there with you like that. If you know. Like, cause my mama, I'm sure your grandmama told you about. I'm sure your grandmama and your granddaddy told you about. That's what, for lack of a better term, white women. You are a black multi-millionaire superstar, African American man. You've been to the league. You've had your fun and all this other stuff, and you know what they've got. You've had friends that have gotten done this way, done dirty in the future, in the past before. I'm sure you have. This ain't no different. You on $100 million contract. You looking at $100 million contract right now, bro. And the reason why you shouldn't have settled is because, or offered the settlement, is because as soon as you offer it, now the next 10 people is going to start coming right behind them.
And they are.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. I saw this morning somebody had came out
and she hit him with the text that said no means no, and he responded to that text. He shouldn't even responded to that text. You know what he should have said? He should have said, "I'll see you in court. I'll see you in court." That's what he should have said.
I think I seen one pair of texts.
But it was a setup text. It was trying to,
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
He's falling for that.
Nah.
Like you
But he was in his, I mean, I'm not trying to defend him, but he was trying to save his image for ESPN, even though he doesn't, like, his money makers in the YouTube shows that he does.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's still filming them right now.
Yeah, I know he's still filming them. I watched him. Obviously, he done put out his statements and he's moving forward. Hell, they was at the draft last night.
Older than this girl. So,
yeah.
I mean, if I had a daughter and I'm 38 and I had an 18-year-old daughter and she was dating some 50, I don't give a fuck who he is.
Dog.
That's just disgusting.
We got barbers in here that are literally a couple years older than my oldest child. Maybe like 5 or 6 years older than my oldest child. If I had a 19-year-old daughter and she brought, well, obviously Shannon Sharp ain't meeting no damn parents. So, but if I ever found out that my 19-year-old daughter is messing with a 54, 55-year-old man, I'm kicking some ass. I'm coming whooping some ass. I'm gonna whoop her little ass too, but I'm coming to whoop some ass, some grown man ass. She gonna get dealt with too. But I'm coming to whoop some grown man ass. What the fuck are you here messing with my 19-year-old daughter for?
And then also, y'all
don't even know. There ain't nothing you could even talk about.
I also want to give. I was watching Brilliant Idiots with Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz made a really good point. Was that think about her integrity and her ethics. She, at the end of the day, she's a sex worker. So she doesn't have any values.
That's what I'm saying. She an OnlyFans model, man.
Yeah, so she already gave her soul. She already gave her soul to the devil. Yeah. And she was a predator. She preyed on Shannon. I'm sure she initiated the flirting, and then he was just like, all right, this is another Thursday.
Yeah, he being an old horny man and stuff, and liking all that unseasoned chicken, and he want a piece of that dry ass chicken. And she all up in the text message talking about 25,000 each cheek. Oh my God! When I saw some shit like that, I was like, bro, this Shannon is out of his mind. He is uncontrolled. That is wild. And for an old man to be thinking that way.
Well, they say fame is a drug too.
Yeah.
So maybe he just got caught up in the sauce. You know, he thought he was back in those Denver Bronco days, getting the groupies.
But it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's one of them things. It's like, bro,
everybody got skeleton in their closets, Ron.
I know that, but it's like, at the same
everybody
time,
got vices. Like, you know,
bro, why?
I don't think he's.
You're grown now. You're not 20 years old no more. You ain't 20 years old, 22, 23 years old in the league no more. You grown as hell, man. You got hip. You just had your hip replaced.
Sometimes there's
you done had hip replacements.
Well, basically, you know, not to say I can relate to his situation, but I've made some bad decisions. You know. But you ain't gonna talk to no damn 19-year-old. No. But my situation was stupid.
I'm about to say that ain't nothing. You ain't messing. That ain't nothing. You ain't talking to no 19, 20, 21-year-old. Dog, there was one time before I met Nia when I was kind of just out there a little bit. I had met this one girl at a restaurant, and I had met this one girl at a restaurant. She looking at me, I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, okay, what's up? You know, I see her, and this is the first time I actually ever really went up to a girl and asked for a number. So I went up to her, asked for a number and everything. I'm texting her a little bit and everything. And a couple days, and then a little bit later, I found out she was 21. And mind you, I was like maybe fresh down here. So I was like 20, maybe 8. Yeah, maybe 28 or something like that. Dog, I felt so weird. I felt weirded out. And I was 28 and she was 21 or maybe even 20. She might have been 20 or 21. And I felt weirded out. I was like, nah, I can't do this. You might look good and everything, but this 20 and 20, that ain't it. For me, that ain't it. I can't get with that. So that was a hard no for me. Hell, I even had to tell my brothers, my brother and my brother and his child's mother. I had to lie and say she was at least 23 because I felt dirty. And I was like, nah, hell no, I can't do this. I had to lie and say she was at least 23. Nah, man, shit. I can't.
So young men and people in power, you got to be careful how you conduct yourself. There's people that will sabotage you. And there's things that you can do out here that will change the trajectory of your whole career, your life. There's things that I've done that have changed my postponed my trajectory in construction
and vice versa.
You know? I was in incidents in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't gonna bring this up, but we're here now. So I used to have this big crush on this girl from Hooters. I think we've talked about this story a little bit. You were like, let me see a picture of her. Remember it? That's the girl I was talking about. You're like, I want to see what this is worth. But,
Okay. I don't think I remember what the girl looked like, but,
No, but I brought her up.
I'm sure I've heard this.
So, we were at Hooters. I used to party with the girls. I used to sell tree to the girls at Hooters, and I was cool with them. And then we used to hang out. So this was on a Sunday, foggy Sunday. I was blowing it down. Because I really didn't like what.
This where you got pulled over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So this is smoking. And then I had to go to work the next day. This is when I was doing construction in Alexandria. And that chick that I got a crush on, she ended up getting drunk, right?
Yeah.
So then some old guy was offering to get her home, and I was trying to be I'll save you.
She came with me.
Yeah.
She came with me. I'm gonna take her home. Don't worry about it.
So that bar that we were at, there was undercover police in that bar. So, they can smell the tree. They can smell all the stuff. They see her drunk ass, acting, whatever.
Acting belligerent.
And so then she ends up leaving with me. So then I was like, all right, let me go take you. I think I was 25 and she was 22 or something around that age, 22, 25. And, so I was like, let me take you home. I was like, all right. And then she's like, oh, I can't go home like this to my dad's house. I can't go home to my dad's house. And then she was like, can you go wait in this? Yeah, wait in this. Can you just wait for my brother in this parking lot? It was a hotel parking lot.
You wait for your brother or her brother?
Her brother. Okay. Her brother. Uh-huh. So I pulled up in the parking lot. This is when I was selling tree too. I just picked up. So I used to keep the bag in the gas tank. This will make sense later in the story. So then, I had a blunt, and then I had a Pepsi, and this is why the Pepsi makes sense is because the cops pulled up on me. I threw the blunt in the Pepsi, but the cops kept saying the tree was so strong he could smell it from the gas station, and he kept saying, he's like, if you just admit to this, I'm not going to charge you with a DUID. I didn't even know what the hell a DUID is. It's driving under the influence of drugs. But the thing is, they had this new law in Virginia, even though I was parked, that if you have the key in the ignition, if you blow over a .08 or you get caught, if they can prove that you were under the, I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
So then, the cops pull up on me, and not just one. damn, you would think I was a fugitive. There was like 10 cops on me. I was like out of my mind. And I was like, and I'm just like mad at the world. I'm like, man, I'm trying to help this chick. I'm trying to save her. And you know, this is why young men or women, you need to be careful on how you conduct yourself, because this really messed me up in life. So then Officer White, I remember his name. Officer White pulled up on me. He said, Austin, you played this good cop, good cop, bad cop bullshit with me. He was like, just tell me where it is. I know you got it. And I said, I've been like this since I was a little kid. You're gonna have to find it. You're gonna have to catch me, because I'm gonna try to get out of this. So I was desperate. So this is what I was saying with Shannon Sharpe. He was desperate in that moment because he was out of his mind and he's thinking of his image. That's why he gave the $10 million. So like, I'm just, in survival mode at this point, and foggy. And so eventually he finds the blunt in the soda can. And then he's like, I know you got more, Austin. I know you got more. And I said, no, I don't. I don't got anything. So luckily it was it's a felony if you have more than a half ounce. Luckily I only had 12 grams. So I dodged a felony, but he hit me with the DUID. He said, I told you. If you told me where it was, I would have hit you with a simple possession. You'd be going home right now. So I still don't know what the hell a DUID is. And I'm still like, and then this chick is crying and saying all this crazy stuff. And then her brother, finally comes out of nowhere. And then I'm just looking crazy with like 10 cops. And then one of the cops was like, is this your brother? Because he said I looked like one of his co-worker or his fellow cops' brother. So they're like looking at me and I'm like going to jail, bro. And that whole thing just changed my whole life, bro. And, I eventually, long story short, I kept continuing the case. And, when I had this, I was in the best financial situation. So I had a court-appointed lawyer and I didn't have the best legal representative. It wouldn't have mattered anyways, but, I got put on probation. I pissed dirty and, I went off on my probation officer and I was just like saying, like, I already knew I was going to jail.
Hothead Austin.
And she was like, I was like, you hate your job. And she was like, they're like, we're going to call the cops. And then that's when I left. But yeah, in that incident. And then the day after I got out of jail, she calls and everything. And then, she feels bad about the situation, but the damage was already done. So, in Virginia, your license gets suspended. And then I was, driving on the suspended life. I didn't even tell my construction job I lost my license. So I was for a year, in my head, I was like, I just got to make it a year.
Yep.
So, I drove with a suspended license for 8 months and I only had like 4 months to go.
So with the suspended license, there wasn't no way to like pay a fine in order to get the license.
So since I had the interlock system, the DUID, they wanted me to put an interlock system. So I would have had to pay extra $1,500, even though it had nothing to do with alcohol. They still wanted me to put an interlock system. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, I think I'm Billy Badass. I'm just gonna drive on suspended. So basically, I kept making self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And this is when I fully accepted and took accountability. That's when my life started changing. Yeah. I can't say yes. Sometimes 5%, the world just happens to you, but 95%, for the most part, 95 to 70%, you can control your destiny.
Yeah.
You just have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, this chick, she broke my heart and she
fucked you up.
Yeah. Freedom.
Put you in a hole.
I was into construction, bro. And then, when I was dealing with all those legal issues, I was still living that lifestyle with no car and still like getting packages, from Arizona and California. And I was still living recklessly. But then when I decided, I was like, I think I was like 30 or 31. I was like, dude, unless I'm the Godfather, I was like, this is for the birds. So that's when I completely just focused. That's why plumbing's so special to me, because plumbing like gave me like that hustler, like adrenaline rush, talking to people, wheeling and dealing, making that money, selling. So that's why like almost like selling tree and the makeup and all that made me who I am today. But it just shows you, you know, I was the man. I was hanging out with the Hooter girls, and then everybody used to like hanging out with me. But as soon as my license was fucked up, like it was just crickets. I didn't have any phone calls. I didn't have anybody like keeping in touch. That chick, you know what I'm saying? I could have easily said it was hers. You know, I could have easily said it was hers. But you know, you know what's crazy is after that all happened, she hit me up out of nowhere like 2 years ago. We had she hit me like the Black Widow, and you know, she kind of like, we had a relation, and she just ghosted me. So it's just like, you know,
2 years ago?
No, I'm saying 2 years after the
incident. I was like, wait a minute.
We didn't talk after the incident. And then 2 years after, she hit me up out of the blue. We were kind of like almost dating for like a couple weeks, and then, you know, she just, I don't know what she did. She's, well, that's the thing. I never had a chick just use me for sex and just bounce. Yeah, so it kind of like, I was like, damn, this is how women feel. I was like, damn, she got me. I was like, she got my freedom. She took my, you know, like she took my soul, my license. But you know, I was able to get my license and I was able to get my order. But I would be way more ahead in my plumbing career if none of this would have happened. So, you know, so I had to work my way from the bottom, bro. Like, you know, being a bus boy, hustling tree, selling tree to the waiters, you know, like watching people, you know, like that's why I always show love to the bus boys at the restaurants, because I was that guy at one moment. And the reason I worked in the restaurants is because they don't do background checks. So, you know, that's the reason. And then I used to work in the temp agency, and that's how another way I got in was I moved up through the temp agency, and then a company was like, hey, we'll take this guy. So as far as like, I'm not saying I can relate to Shannon Sharp, but I've had a lapse in judgment and been sloppy as well.
So, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking, because I've had my own too. Hell,
but I'm just saying, as for these young guys, be careful who you hang out with. And if you got that dude that sells the yayo, don't ride with him just because he's got the fly clothes, just because he's got all the women. He's gonna get tagged. He's either gonna get robbed or the law's coming for him. I've never seen a successful drug dealer. I've never seen a successful drug delar. I've never seen a retired drug dealer. And I've had uncles. I've had uncles that live that fast life. And you know, unfortunately, substance abuse has gotten them. But it's sometimes I miss that lifestyle, living that fast lifestyle, making money.
It's fast money and stuff like that.
It's fun. Easy come, easy go.
All money and
easy
good
come,
money at the same
easy
time,
come,
man.
easy go.
You know what I mean?
As far as these young men, like if you are living that lifestyle, get a trade. Get a trade. I know you don't want to go to college or do something. Go sell cars. Go do something. You can actually be more successful if you were to start at McDonald's at 16, 15 years old, and then you're at my age at 38, you could have been the district manager of there. But everybody knocks, there's nothing wrong working the corporate. It's just Ron and I are trying to do something different from the corporate. And we're not saying it's bad to work for a corporation. I'm working for a corporation.
For real.
You're working for somebody. Like but you just got to be careful on how you conduct yourself, because there's somebody that wants to take what you got. So you got to be careful how you move. That's really what I'm trying to say.
I agree with everything you did just say. I mean,
and I stopped pretending to be a victim. I know I said that before, but that's when my life started changing, is when I took accountability for my actions. Maybe I should have just told that chick, just, take a cab, or I shouldn't have been Mr. Hero, or, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, Duh, and that's what your 20s is for. Your 20s is supposed to be for that, like 25 and under. 25 and under, I feel like those are your time for you trying to get all that out your system. You get the stupid shit out, get the stupid stuff out your system. You know, your ups and downs. You're gonna make the ups and downs and stuff like that. It is what it is. Hell, I had 2 kids. I was married, divorced, had 2 kids, and sleeping on a couch, sleeping on my homeboy's couch, all by 25. So, you know, all by 25. So, yeah, we all this, but by 25, that's when I'm like, all right, you know what? Now I'm starting. I feel like now I gotta start figuring out. Now, damn, granted that I go back to her again a couple of times. Yeah, I did, but you know, I was also still trying to do better. I'm trying to get out of the old stupid stuff, you know. But it's like it's one of the things. Nah, man, you get it out your system, but don't like you said. Don't really do like stupid stuff. Yeah. You know, try to stay away from stupid shit. If it's not necessary, think about it first. You know what I mean? If you arguing with somebody, like I said, like I had the incident the other week, the other week. Like I said, could I have went there with that dude? Yeah, I could. 25-year-old me? I don't know. Maybe I would have. Maybe we would have been fighting. A 36-year-old me, man, I don't care, bro. And that's how y'all need to think in order to expand your life, your livelihood. Because never, I don't know what that dude could have had. He could have had a strap, gun, knife, something like that. And if I would have went there with him, then guess what? You know what I mean? So it's like you got to think ahead. Think 2 steps ahead. You know, think about your surroundings. Think where you're at. You know, and stop thinking you're Superman. You young and dumb, you definitely think you could be Superman. Talk to a big homie and let him know. Like, you know, talk to a big homie, somebody that ain't a big homie and dumb. Because there's a bunch of old dummies too that still try to do young niggas, YN stuff, as people would say. You know.
Yeah. And then also with the tree thing, I tried to give it one more crack legally. I tried to start my own business with a delivery service.
Legally.
Yeah.
Keyword.
Yeah. The weed maps, you know.
Keyword. Legally.
We tried to do our thing. It didn't work out. So I actually, you know, I fell on my face in that. And then I had a revelation where I was like, man, if I'm not the Godfather, I don't want it. I was like, if I can't be the dude
at your age,
I was like 30. I was like, man, I gotta get back into 30s, construction.
You can't be slinging.
I just got my driver's license back. I said, man, I'm gonna do this plumbing thing, and I haven't looked back since. Have you seen that dude, Aaron the plumber? But I love his story. You know, he was a blood from Stockton. He moved. I don't care. No,
I just seen him.
I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know about the fighting and all that, but I saw something about. The balloon and I saw about his. Basically, Stockton's rough, bro. Oh yeah, Stockton ain't no joke. Yeah, I've been to Stockton, like around Oakland, you know, and all them. That's where I met. Like, you know, the connect. But yeah, so where that dude was from, it ain't no joke, and you know, his story is amazing because I can't really relate because I've never been a blood, I've never been a gang member, I never, you know, to me, I think unless you're from the West Coast, that's when I take the blood and encrypting. But all that East Coast blood, it's just comical. But yeah, he was a blood, and then he started plumbing in Tulsa, and he changed his life around, bro. You know what I'm saying? So good for him, Aaron the plumber.
As a man, as a growing man, like I was talking about, not a grown man, but you a growing man. That's how you're supposed to be. Yeah, you're supposed to lead that old. I'm not 20 years old no more. I'm not supposed to be doing the same shit that I was doing 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I'm supposed to elevate. And what do I look like? And I could probably still sell tree to this day. Go sell to some tourists, or
you know, catch people like.
Well, what do you look like? Like you was about to say at 38 years old.
Yeah, 38 years old.
Dimes or something like that, or whatever. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But yeah, what do you look like doing that?
So I mean, the game has changed, and then you got to evolve, otherwise you're gonna get left behind. So that's kind of like how we're doing.
And that yep.
We're past the flyer days. Like I said before, we're past knocking on the doors. Like it's all digital. Everything we do to be successful, unfortunately or fortunately, it's a bless and a curse at the same time, or a double-edged sword. Yeah. We almost need the internet to elevate, but sometimes it can be toxic. It can be fake. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors with this. What's the word, ethos?
With social media in general, it is a lot of smoke and mirrors because people don't understand. You don't understand what is going behind the scenes. Yeah. And most people aren't going to be transparent like us and tell you what is kind of sort of what going on.
They're going to tell you what you want to hear.
Behind the scenes.
Or what makes them look good.
Exactly. They're going to show you the glitz and glam. Oh, I'm taking these vacations. I'm going on these vacations twice a week or randomly or something like that. Motherfucker, them old vacations is from 4 years ago. They're just recycling them joints. So they're going out here and they're showing you all the glitz and the glams, and it got people thinking like, oh, this is life. This is you know. And if you're thinking that, you're thinking more like, oh, well, I need to do that, or I need to get like how they are. But you're not seeing the type of stuff that they're doing, the work that they're doing to get to that point to even be able to do some of them things. You know, they are still doing work and they are going through stuff too. They ain't showing you the jacked up videos that they put out that don't hit no views, or they ain't showing you the hours that they've edited on a video or 10, 20.
I got a perfect celebrity. Sean Kingston. That dude had 1 billion views. He was an international superstar. Yeah. He was writing songs. He was writing songs for Justin Bieber. But now,
in jail. Right?
Scamming, credit card scheming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, and that's what his mom went to prison originally for. But he grew up doing this. But he wanted to live that lifestyle. Apparently, I didn't know this, but a 200 square foot TV is expensive.
Wait a minute, what?
200 square feet. 200 square feet
TV?
Yeah.
What's a TV?
200, my bad, 200-inch TV.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Like the big. So like after 100 inches, the price goes up. The price goes up. Well, so that's why basically what he did wire or credit card fraud with one of the TVs, and he didn't pay them back. So then he is also getting jewelry.
Because he want to look like he has something for the internet.
Yeah.
He wants to look like he still
has it.
Like he's still the Sean Kingston from 04. So he don't look like he's down and out.
Yeah.
He wants to look like something that he's not. And that is my whole reason why I'm doing this, because I don't want to look like I have something that I don't. I'm willing to bust my ass right now to actually have something in the future. I don't want to just sit there and look like I have it, act like I'm going on a vacation or something like that, but then y'all don't see me out here putting $50 a week or something into my pot, saving up for the shit. Yeah. I want, y'all don't see me out here, shit. Gas, I don't know, shit, I need to eat. Well, do I pay or do I get a tank of gas? But if I look like I'm going on a vacation or something for y'all, that look good. No, I want to be able to go on that vacation. Like I said, I want to be able to take my family on a 1 month, on a 35-day vacation and don't have to pick up my phone to do any type of work. Well, because I put the grind in right now to be able to go and take that 35-day vacation with no work needed.
Or also have
whatever.
A great dinner with the family and not like look at the bill and be like,
look at the bill,
$400.
Be like, $1,000, boy. Okay.
Or even
let's get some calculators. Let's just get some calculators out and start. I want to be able to look at a bill, $1,000 bill. Yeah, take it and leave a nice juicy tip for somebody if they did. As long as they take care, do what they're supposed to do. I'm a pretty generous tipper, but if you do what you're supposed to, I want to be I don't want to have to think twice. If, like you said, go out to a dinner like that. I'm getting wired differently. That's why I'm trying to be this right now.
Yeah.
I got so much in my head for my family right now. That's why I'm trying to get here. I don't want to have to pull out or split a bill or something like that. You go split a bill and everybody's looking at, well, how much is my portion? Well, my plate was $37.50. Hers was whatchamacallit, my 2 kids was this. Damn it, here. There, I'll take care of it all. Don't worry about it. Don't nobody worry about it. That's the type of financial freedom that I want.
But at the end of the day, you got to crawl before you walk.
And it starts at the ground floor. It starts right now. It starts today to be able to get up to that point. And that almost sounds a segue into, well, actually, the story before it kind of segued, but we kind of went off on a little tangent.
Which one?
Well, I was getting ready to segue into how Shedeur Sanders, because we all seen what happened with him. The draft was last couple of days, and Shedeur Sanders, top 2 quarterback, top 3 overall player, top 3 overall player, and it was a top 2 quarterback.
So basically what was going on...
Essentially, what that means is he was going to be taken somewhere between the 1st and the 5th overall pick by one of them teams. But
the owners was feeling like he was on some Colin Kaepernick. He's trying to be bigger than the league. And they had to they were almost like checking him and be like, no, we run the show.
They're checking him.
And they're checking his dad too. The thing is, the LeBron James situation is way different with there, but Sanders actually has Sanders actually has, what is the name, Saunders or Sanders? Sanders actually has the skill level. Bronny is skilled, but as far as talent-wise,
was literally supposed to be a top 3 overall pick.
Yeah.
That means he was literally 1, 2, or 3.
So I guess the owners didn't like the fact that he said he didn't, they didn't like how arrogant he was in the interview. God damn it. He was arrogant in the interviews. He didn't want to work out. And they were they almost wanted to check him, let him know who the boss was.
But see, you know what? I feel like Deion Sanders, that's why he did go into the college route.
Well, they didn't like when Deion said whatever team he doesn't like, we're not going to play for him. So they're the NFL doesn't like that. They're like, you're going to go where you're told.
That's my whole point. See, Deion is one of them guys.
Doesn't mind standing up for what he believes in. Deion
is one of them guys. And I like what your son is that good, big up your son. Because if my son is that damn good, damn it, I'm now if my son, this is another little brownie situation. If my son is not that good, I'm gonna big him up in private, and I'm just gonna let you know, my son, he got a lot to work. If they ask me about my son in public, my son got a lot of work, but he's got potential. But if my son is the truth and he's supposed to be the 3rd overall pick, damn it, I'm talking shit too.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Why is my kid not being picked? Why does my kid get picked at the end of the 3rd day when he's supposed to be at least the 3rd overall?
It was personal.
Oh yeah,
it had nothing to do.
That wasn't. They mad at him. Bad. They mad at Deion.
They didn't want him.
They mad at Deion. They also didn't touch Deion. So guess what?
Chad Ochocinco said that. They said they don't want to be bigger than the machine.
And
no one's bigger than the machine.
And that gets me to the corporation part. Deion Sanders, the Ray Lewises, Ed Reeds, those type of players, those type of people. And that's why I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, you know what? This is the reason why, Jay-Z, right? Dame Dash was sitting there trying to create his own NFL-esque football league. Because he wants his own play. He wants control of his people laughing at Dame Dash. Dame Dash, at least he got the mindset to do that, to think that way. Guess what? If Deion Sanders was to sit down and have that mindset, he ain't got to worry about nobody over here in this corporation telling him, oh, well, we don't want your kid. You don't want to draft us? All right, we're going to sabotage your kid. Because we can't sabotage you because you don't work for us. So we're going to sabotage your kid.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't going to fuck with my kids.
Yeah, that's not fair.
You know? But guess what? If I go ahead and get a bunch of investors and I can create a couple of my guys that when we all sit there and put our minds together and we create our own league to be a competition for them, I don't care. Yeah, XFL did their thing and stuff like that too. But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. You know, you have to start somewhere. And damn it, like it may not be the sexy pick, but eventually it can catch on. The NFL is over 100 years old. You think when it started, it was the sexy pick? It was the only thing, actually. So you ain't had no other choice. But the NFL, like I said, it's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
It started from the bottom somewhere.
So,
you know, the marketing giants and stuff like that, nah, man, like they fucking with that man's kid.
Yeah.
And it's because he's not, you ain't gonna control him.
Oh, can we talk about LeBron?
Oh.
Yeah. LeBron didn't come with that same energy with Kevin Gates at courtside. He didn't want to see him. He wanted to check him. So
yeah,
I think Kevin Gates did that on purpose. 100% did that on purpose.
Yeah, LeBron would have got smacked in the face if he tried to walk over.
Or he would have got hit with the lawsuit.
Yeah. Nah, Kevin Gates would have smacked the shit.
No, but I'm saying he would have, like, let's say LeBron would have dog walked him. I mean, Kevin Gates can act like Mr. Game.
Yeah. But Kevin Gates would have still smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah,
but LeBron
would have got him.
Not stupid.
LeBron would have got him.
LeBron ain't stupid.
But
that's why he never went over there.
Yeah.
He knew Kevin Gates was over there. He knew he was over there.
With Brittany Reiner with the hijab.
Yeah. That's another story. Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, LeBron knew that Kevin Gates was right there front row. Like you can't hide her.
Yeah.
Like you
all
can't
those
hide
damn tattoos and
on the court. Like
he
right
had his
there
shirt off. He had his this bare chest just out there. I'm surprised at courtside you don't have some type of dress code, right? Like,
I don't know. We don't know about that yet. Yeah. We don't know about that yet. So
that would be cool one day to sit courtside.
Give us a couple more years. That's why we starting now. So eventually we can take our whole family
to get
courtside tickets
this fall.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard the Orlando Magic is really not that bad.
Yeah, I'm about to say Orlando Magic, but see, that's the
But I'm saying season. Obviously, if we were trying to get playoff tickets, but
yeah,
basically LeBron he knew Stephen A. Smith wasn't going to say anything bad. Yeah. He knew it was going to get fizzled because he was like, he's not going to mess it up. Mm-hmm. And Stephen A. Smith, at the end of the day, he's a company man.
Yeah.
But I like how, you know what I like about Stephen A. Smith? I like hearing him at ESPN, but I like seeing his YouTube because he's cursing and he's like himself. You get to see the real Stephen A. Smith.
It'd be funny,
like especially how he interacted with Mace and Cameron. Yeah.
And you be seeing the difference, and I'll be like, "Oh man, Steven out here, he claiming he feeling a little gangster, yeah."
But at the end of the day, I think LeBron had a little lapse in judgment. He's still a good father. He's a good role model. And think about it, he's been in the spotlight since he's a child star since he was 16 years old. 16. He's never gotten a DUI. He's never got caught cheating. He's never got caught with a mistress. Well, he's never done it blatantly in front of people's faces. Whether he did or didn't.
Put it this way.
He's just still good a role model.
Yeah. And I would, from the outside looking in.
Did you ever see Space Jam 2?
Oh my God.
Was it bad or what?
Yes, it was atrocious.
That's what I heard about the Joker 2.
Yeah, Joker 2 was trash.
You seen it?
I seen the first. No, I did not. I saw.
I was so bad. They said it's not even worth watching.
And that's how They
said Lady Gaga's a horrible actor.
Yeah, that's exactly how I heard. Nia told me a whole bunch of stuff about it. She said she didn't.
They said it was a musical.
Yeah.
It was a musical.
Yeah, she said it was a musical, and even Nia said that she didn't like it. And Nia likes a whole bunch of
she likes musicals,
random stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh yeah, if she said she don't like it, then I know I'm not watching this.
Yeah,
yeah. But Space Jam 2, the only reason why I even watched it because I knew was
you're a LeBron guy, right?
No. Oh yeah. I'm a LeBron guy. But the only reason why I knew I was off. I was like, eh. But the only reason why I even gave it an attempt was because Ryan Coogler was actually the producer. He was the producer.
Oh, he didn't have
just the producer. He didn't write, he didn't direct or nothing like that. So he can't control that. He's just bringing everybody to the set and making sure everybody does everything.
They don't make movies like they did in the 90s, man.
Ryan Coogler's trying to, though. I'm telling you, Ryan Coogler,
can you tell him to bring Spawn back?
Hey, I don't know what he'll do.
Apparently, Jamie Foxx was supposed to play Spawn.
Yeah, he was supposed to. But that was a long time ago.
Credits, but you know, he's got some health issues.
Yeah, that was a
supposedly
long time ago, that was supposed to happen. What?
He was poisoned by Diddy.
Now listen, I don't put nothing past nobody in none of this. I believe Jamie Foxx I think there was something going. I think something happened.
He was the first one to talk about Diddy acting crazy.
I do believe something happened with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
You know, I think something happened with Jamie. I'm glad that he is okay. I don't know. You know, I know it's funny because he made a joke about clones and stuff. Like, how do you know I'm not a clone? Well, because I'm not a clone. And he was like, well, that's what a clone was going to say.
That he had that health scare because he's so healthy and disciplined. He's like in his 50s, but he's like cut up. He takes care of himself. He eats
well. Like
well.
Said,
He
man,
eats clean.
He was in his 50s.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in your 50s.
There was a mystery on why he was in the emergency room. And he pretty much said, I was poisoned. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of them things.
Hollywood. A lot of money.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood, man. I put nothing past none of them. Like I said, fuck. Like I said, I try not to look up to none of them no more. You know, I look up to your local. Try to look up to your local heroes that you can see doing something. You know, the ones that you see.
Well, you know what else is going on right now is a lot of these independent film companies. You know, just like 50 Cent. You know who else is starting their own film company? Cat Williams.
Okay, I'm rocking with that.
Yeah, and he bought a Theo Von. I don't know, he's a comedian. I met Theo Von before he got real famous, but cool cat. Nice. But he did an interview with Cat Williams, and he bought a abandoned military station, or he bought the military, and he's gonna build a film production company.
Nice.
And I feel like the movies are gonna get better now. I think Hollywood is just they lost touch on what they're
because they can put their own creative minds and stuff to it. And with people like 50 Cent, Cat Williams, Ryan Coogler doing their own things and stuff like that, and putting them out there, when that's just Ryan Coogler's whatchamacallit. Ryan Coogler has done 5 movies, directed and written 5 movies. All 5 of them have been 95+% in the Rotten Tomatoes. That's unprecedented. In the audience reviews, that means what me and you say on them, all 5 of them have been 95+%. And Sinners is the best one right now. And that's the most recent one. I can literally see him win I can see him winning some type of
You know what else I like about this director? Even if he wasn't successful,
that's why he was able to get the
let's say he wasn't
let's
say he wasn't making this millions. I truly believe he would still be in film, even if it was on the story. Like, he's just gonna be in film for the rest of his life, and then that's why people got it messed up when you're chasing success. You should do it for the love.
And you know what? Just before I cut you off real quick, it all stemmed because he got injured in college. And he
played sports?
Yeah, college football.
Oh, he did?
College football. He was a pretty good.
What
Him
college?
and Nick Barnes' little brother Matt Barnes' little brother
You talking about Matt Barnes, the basketball player?
Yeah, Matt Barnes' little brother. They went to school together, and they played on the same football team together. Yeah. So
Matt Barnes is from
Sacramento. Yeah. And I think they was at Sacramento State or something like that until he went to film school in USC.
She got his.
And when he went to film school in USC, that's when because one of his English teachers was like, man, you write pretty good. You should become like a playwright and screenwriter. And then when he was like, all right, well, I guess now I ain't got nothing else to do. So, but the discipline that he had from the sports, he was like, yo, I can put this work into my movies, because that was nothing that he didn't plan on that.
Yeah.
Just like I didn't plan on this. But he started realizing he's like pretty good at this. I'm like, damn, man, I'm pretty good. And everyone's saying that I'm pretty good at this. So, let me go all in. And like I said, look where he's at now. 15 years later, he got his family set up for the future. Because he started then. But it was started because he had to make a different choice. He had to pivot.
And he did it for the love of filmmaking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't trying to be like, oh, I want to be a millionaire.
Nah, just because
I want to make this quick money. If he wanted to make the quick money, it probably would have been easier for him to do music videos.
Sure enough.
So he picked the hardest thing. It is hard to film.
Sure enough.
It's hard to get the money, the budget, it takes a lot of resources to make a movie. So
yes. And
a good movie.
Oh yeah. Especially, yeah. Like you said, to make a good movie. Anybody, you could probably make a good if you give me a month, I don't know, I figure out some shit, I probably can make a movie, If I film some shit, now it's gonna be pretty trash. I will say that. It's definitely gonna be trash.
Yeah.
But,
we're gonna do 2 hours?
Nah, we ain't doing no 2 hours. But
we hour and 12 minutes.
I know, but we kind of, I'm getting, probably getting ready to pipe down.
You want to keep it going?
We gonna pipe down a little bit, but so
this is the longest pod we did
so far.
Well, it is special. Yeah. We didn't talk about it. This is halftime.
It is halftime.
Are we gonna call it halftime?
Yeah, we're gonna call it halftime. But
halftime.
I'm just thinking about it, like sometimes, like I said, like we said earlier, you got it. I don't even think we said it, but we was talking about it before. But it's like sometimes you gotta go at this like it could be your last time.
Yes.
Go at things like it can be your last time. That's why I wake up and if you hear me talk to anybody and tell them, I'm like, I thank God in the morning.
I've heard that in a motivational speech.
Go at everything like it could be your last time.
I've heard that quote.
So go hard at it.
I've heard that quote. Like, what would you do if this was your last day on earth?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do? And he's basically saying, like, that's the mentality you should have.
Mm-hmm.
So only time will tell.
Yeah, only time will tell. We'll see what happens, So, but with that being said, episode 12, halftime. Like I said, we ain't got enough fingers, so.
Now we can do it. Put the 10.
Yeah, want me to put the 10 up?
There you go.
You put 2-1.
All right.
2. Yeah, I was about to say there we go. Episode 12. We signing off, y'all.